Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having an amazing day today. In today's video, we are discussing the short-term price action, the high time frame charts, exactly what needs to happen for the buyers to step back in, and what we believe Bitcoin is going to be doing next on the immediate term. Before we get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We'll also be taking a look at the altcoin market and the total market cap. We post daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us on Telegram. That is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin, and the relevant economic news. And if you are interested in taking your trading to the next level, click the pinned comment by clicking my name. You can contact me by clicking the first link. You can find a 50+ month trading track record, and the second link being a 10-minute video showing you inside the VIP channel. If you are interested in joining the VIP channel, go ahead and follow those steps. You'll get access to exclusive trading setups with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and so much more, including access to a multitude of group chats, which I am inactive on a daily basis. You'll get access to our trading chart education channel. You'll get access to our general chats, our news chats, our community trade setup chats, and of course, our help and video chat. Check it out, guys. Join up. We'll see you in there. Let's dive on in. So as we can see, over the past 24 hours, we haven't seen all that much happen for Bitcoin in terms of the high time frame movements, but in terms of the short-term price action, we have seen Bitcoin come on to retest that range low of the current horizontal consolidation. Of course, the range low being that $95,000 region, just coming down to test that level post a deviation toward the top side. We're going to be discussing what this means in terms of the higher time frame price action, why this range is important, and even discussing what needs to happen for Bitcoin to see a rally back upwards, and most importantly, the consequence of if we fail to do so. How bad can this market get? How much can we correct if we do not see those buyers step back in very soon? We're also going to be taking a look at Bitcoin dominance and the altcoin and total market cap. Let's move over to our market data. Taking a look at the data, first and foremost, 24-hour volume and liquidations. Volume is up 59% at 162 billion, with liquidations moving a considerable amount upwards to 235 million, with 145 million in long liquidations and 89 million in short liquidations. Moving over to the rest of the DXY and S&P 500, the DXY is retesting a critical level of support over here. An inability to sustain this level of support will result in a strong correction for the DXY. This will be bullish for the risk asset market on a general basis. And of course, while we are sitting at support, we do have the potential to see a reversal back towards these highs. And if we do see that, that will be bearish for the risk asset market. So the DXY in a very important position. We need to be a little bit more cautious with our risk asset markets over here, as again, directional moves over here can have an impact on the macro directional expectations for Bitcoin and the S&P. Now, again, we do not see these always move in an inverse correlation. The inverse correlation is around 0.7, and that strengthens as we move to a higher time frame. On the smaller time frame, that correlation, or that should I say that inverse correlation, weakens. So it is not that when the DXY goes down, we see the risk asset market goes down. It's when the general trajectory of the DXY is moving downward over a higher time frame, do we see the general direction of the risk asset market move upwards, and vice versa. So that's how that one works. Moving over to the S&P 500, it is looking pretty decent. We are very close to that positive momentum shift on the RSI. As we can see over here, in fact, we're just retesting that trend line. This momentum shift will indicate for the first time since this 57,000 high, or should I say 5,700 high, the buyers are back in control of this price action. Since we established this high over here, we have been seeing developing developing an increasing exhaustion as per our downtrend in the RSI, suggesting the momentum is decreasing. However, if we see that RSI breakout on the weekly, that would suggest that the buyers are back in control and we will likely see a continuation upwards, or at least one more strong move toward the upside. That is something we're watching around 6,300, 400, and 500 for potential targets. If that does occur, we could see a move upwards followed by a correction back down. Something along those lines would be expected if we do see that RSI break toward the upside. That is it for the broader markets, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. Now, before we do, if you're interested in supporting me making this content, supporting yourself in your trading journey, take a few seconds and sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX. These are the exchanges I personally trade on and the exchanges all of our members trade on. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to a massive 45% based on your trading volume. And of course, you'll support the content and get access to all the exclusive campaigns we have on those exchanges. Check it out. We'll play an ad and we'll jump back in. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get stuck into it. And we are starting on the total market cap and the altcoin market. Now, again, this is not designed to predict where the price action is going. This is simply to give you an assessment of how the price is developing on the higher time frame in terms of the cryptocurrency market, and what would happen if we started to see more weakness develop. What would that mean for the general trajectory of the price action and expectations moving into the next few months? A very important chart over here. This is going to be our total market cap on the weekly chart. We are looking at two very important things. Number one, we are watching our momentum, and number two, we are watching our 2021 high. This area, a prior area of resistance, is now acting as a current area of support. I've gone ahead and marked this with a red and gray box. What we can see is we have potentially forming a deviation setup. Now, a deviation setup is when we see the price action break through a major level of resistance or liquidity. We see the price action sustain temporarily above that region, only to see exhaustion take hold, momentum drop, and the price action crash back below. That generally results in directional continuations downwards. So when we see these deviation setups like this, and we see that break back down, that would confirm with that negative momentum, that bearish divergence over here, that the price action is likely going to see a correction, and this would be marked as a top for Bitcoin or for the cryptocurrency market or for the total market cap. Now, is this confirmed yet? This is the most important thing. The answer is no. We do not have confirmed deviation yet. All we have is a warning sign of what may potentially happen, and therefore we need to be aware of the consequence if that does develop. So this isn't saying that we're going lower. It is telling us that we are now sustaining above the 2021 high, testing this as an area of support, as we have been doing for around 2.5 months. But it is also telling us if we fail to sustain, if we fail to hold this area of support with that bearish divergence we have developing, with the deviation from the 2021 high, if we do drop below, that would mark a start of a higher time frame correction for the cryptocurrency market. So until that happens, the potential for reversals and developments toward the upside still remain. That is still a objective fact. That is still a possibility. That's still something we're watching out for, and we'll discuss that in just a moment. But we need to be aware of the potential risk factors if we fail to sustain that 2021 high and what that would look like. Example, if we were to see the breakdown, we could see a move back towards that 200 moving average around that $2 trillion level of liquidity. That would be worst case scenario. So let's jump over to the altcoin market. We'll come back and discuss this in relation to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is, again, holding the market share of around 60%. It is going to more or less determine where the total market cap goes. So if Bitcoin does go down, it is likely we'll see that correction. If Bitcoin does go up, well, this chart will very well start to look very strong again. So we'll come back and discuss that in relation to Bitcoin in just a moment. Let's move into the altcoin market. The altcoin market is still looking a little bit shaky. For us to be confident on the short term for altcoins, meaning if we want to see the next short term rally toward the upside, we need to see this level of resistance break. Until then, there are two things you could really do. You could look for coins that have dropped significant amounts that are retesting key psychological levels and look to take swing longs there, hoping that we're going to see reversals, or you can be patient and you can wait for this resistance level to break, which should be a trigger for a move up for the altcoin market to the $1 trillion level, and pretty much every single altcoin will be green if we do break through that region. So that is how we're watching altcoins right now. Until then, we could potentially see a slow grind downwards for altcoins if we fail to sustain above this region. If we move to the daily chart for us to be really confident that altcoins are going to do very well again, we need to see that daily momentum break. We need to see that downtrending RSI break upwards. If we see that break upwards, that is going to be the trigger point for us to be saying, okay, it is time to jump back into some altcoins. It is time for altcoins to have their moment in the sun yet again for the first time in a few months. So that is what watching out for the altcoin market. Let's move over to Bitcoin. As we can see, Bitcoin is still pretty much doing nothing. And it has been doing nothing for a very long time. In fact, if we move over to this chart here, we can see ever since the beginning of Feb, we had this massive amount of volatility. And since then, we have essentially been moving sideways. Volatility has been dropping. In fact, volatility is really low right now. If we look at the volatility index, it has been dropping very aggressively over the last two weeks over here, with Bitcoin moving pretty much aggressively sideways since around about the 5th to 6th of Feb. That is looking at around to be around 12 days, nearly exactly 2 weeks of sideways consolidation. Now, with this consolidation, we have developed a very clear range. We have got our range high, marked out by the 200 moving average as our retest of these wicks, but of course also our prior lower highs and our range low with our major level of liquidity right over here and those wicks into support. This range here is going to determine if Bitcoin is able to break through the POC. If we look at this chart over here, this is going to be our daily chart. We can see the POC right over here and move into this lower level of resistance toward the upside, or if we see the price action sustain and correct back into the 92 to 88,000 support. The most important thing will be whether or not we see the break toward the downside sustain or the break toward the upside sustain. So let's talk about that very quickly and then jump into the higher time frame charts. If we are looking at this chart here on the hourly chart, we can see for us to confirm a break toward the downside, we need to see the price action sustain below the strong low. We are watching for this level right over here. This is going to be our sell side liquidity. We are watching for the price action to sustain below this strong low, meaning if the price action drops into here, we could still see deviation and a continuation upwards. But if the price action drops below that trend line, it is highly likely that will be the confirmation for us to move back into that $92,000 major high time frame support. For the upward movement, the same thing. We are watching our week high. Again, our buy side liquidity sitting right over here. A break above the buy side liquidity will result in a continuation into our major downtrend. Whereas if we just wick into this region, we could see liquidity grabs toward the top side. So again, as you can see, we are trading within this range. If we zoom out to the 4-hourly chart, the consequence of the break above this horizontal high will be number 1, we will break above the 200 moving average on the 4 hour. Number 2, we will break above the 50 EMA on the daily. Number 3, we'll be able to clear the POC. And number 4, we will be challenging the weekly downtrending resistance. And we know for us to be confident in continuations higher, the weekly downtrending resistance will need to break. And if that breaks, we will see rallies toward the upside. If we do not see any of that and we'll see the price action lose our sell side liquidity, it is highly likely the price will correct back into our major support level. Now, if we move over to our weekly chart, we do have some major warning signs we need to be aware of. Number 1, of course, this is a very important one. We have got the weekly breakdown on the 62.09 on the RSI. As you can see here, historically, upon the breakdown of these regions, we have seen corrections spanning between 10 to 78%. Will we see a massive correction again? It doesn't happen every time. We have seen numerous occasions where we do not see major corrections. Sometimes we only see 5%, sometimes we don't correct. Sometimes by the time the cross occurs, the correction's already happened. But it is a warning sign nevertheless. So we do have some technical confluence here on the higher time frames that could be suggesting a correction is in store for the market. And particularly if we start losing these levels of support, the probability that occurs becomes much larger. So we'll finish up the video by talking about the consequences of those corrections. To keep it very simple, above and below our daily highs, our daily high 108 and below 88k, we have got low historical resistance range, okay? This low historical resistance range above and below, simply a range where the volume requirements on a horizontal scale for the price action to aggressively move in either direction are significantly diminished. Therefore, the volatility would significantly rise upon a breakdown or a breakup, resulting in a strong directional move. Therefore, if we lose 88k, expect a strong move downwards. Break 108k, expect a strong move upwards. The move downward would result in the total market cap losing the 2021 high, confirming deviation and confirming a market top. As you can see, a lot is going on, very important stuff. We'll wrap it up there, guys. Have a fantastic day. Make sure you keep an eye on that short-term chart, and we'll see you guys in the next video on Thursday. Bye.